The eruption of Mount St. Helens on May 18, 1980, was one of the most dramatic geologic moments in American history.
Friday, the 13th.
We are awed, and rightly so, by the forces of destruction at loose in the world in its nuclear era.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
John Lennon, singer, songwriter, leader of a musical group that led a generation. Earlier this week he was killed. Today, New York and the world mourn.
Fans waited and debated over which of the plausible suspects had pulled the trigger.
Pick a number.
From any number of bamboozled oil barons,
I'll get you for this if it's the last thing I do.
to JR's neglected, long-suffering wife, Sue Ellen.
Tell me, JR, which slut are you going to stay with tonight?
He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
Not true.
I don't understand. What do you mean kill you?
Me? Kill me? Start here. Kill me first. Do me a fucking favor. Because you're driving me crazy. You're a killer. You're a big shot. Just kill. You're a killer.
Excuse me, what do you mean by you, though?
President Carter won a major victory today in his bid to boycott the Moscow Olympic Games because of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
Here's Johnny.
Another one bites the dust.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at game number 16 in our 20 from 1980 series. And this game was created by Universal in 1980, and it might be the very first arcade game with ladders, and maybe even the first platform game, and this is called Space Panic. And this is one of the hardest games you'll ever pick up, or at least one of the hardest classic arcade games you'll ever pick up. You are a cosmonaut, and you go through this series of floors connected by ladders, and you kill all the aliens that you see. And this is kind of a side action version of an older game called Hey Yankyo Alien, which was created in Japan. It was a totally overhead game where you dig holes and try to get the aliens to fall in and then bury them. And you do the same thing here, but this is a side action. And you climb ladders to get to the different floors. And you see that screen in between in the attract mode that tells you how many floors you have to make each monster fall. And these red ones, you just have to make them fall one floor. This had a fairly popular release on the Colecovision, but it is much easier than the arcade original. It's hard. We'll go ahead and get started here. But again, you will see a little screen that tells you how far you need to make the enemies fall. You need to just dig a hole. With one button you dig the hole, and with the other button you bury the hole. And once the alien falls in the hole, then you have a short amount of time to bury them. And you need to wail on the buttons to dig the hole, and especially to bury them. If you take too long, they will dig their way out. And you have an oxygen supply, a limited oxygen meter. And you'll see it at the bottom. It starts ticking down by 20 increments. And when it gets low in the red area at the top, then you will hear a warning sound, and you will have a limited amount of time before it runs out completely and you die. I remember seeing this game in one arcade from my recollection, and it was an arcade that's not far from where I currently live. Very creepy game and very difficult. Right now it doesn't seem so bad. It's good to surround yourself with a hole on the left and a hole on the right. But sometimes there will be enemies that wait in line right behind a monster that you're burying. Or they might come from the other side and get you while you're trying to bury a monster. You cannot dig a hole from the floor on the bottom. But wail on those buttons. And defend yourself from crap. Yeah, if you don't dig a hole completely, then they'll quickly fill it up. But defend yourself by having holes on either side of you. Try not to have a ladder right behind you when you're digging a hole, because a monster or an alien can come right down that ladder and get you from behind. And you can fall down any hole without any consequence. You can make holes directly below on the floor, directly below the one you made above. And that is a way that you can kill some of the harder monsters, because they will require more floors to fall through before they die. But there's a much easier way to kill them, because it's hard to make holes directly below each other. You could be just a little bit off and it won't count. You only get bonus points for oxygen left if the meter is still in white. If it's in red and you hear the warning sound, whoops, then you won't get a bonus for oxygen left. Hey, there we go. That is the much easier way to kill the harder enemies. Drop them down on other enemies, or drop other enemies down on it. That is the way you want to kill those harder enemies. That green one has to fall through 2 floors otherwise. But yeah, the aliens seem to be faster. Yeah, he's waiting for his turn to come get me. So when you see them stop there, be ready to get away. Tried to get him to splat that green monster. Come on. Hey, there we go. See, that's the way you want to get those guys. Digging holes below each other is too difficult. And other monsters or aliens can easily fall in those holes and screw up your plans. Well, speaking of plans, I am getting my house prepped for possible renters. I actually have 2 in mind, and they'll take up the 2 rooms that I have available. Although I do have a loft over the garage that I could charge for like half price. I'm glad that alien didn't go down the ladder behind me. Whoops. Yeah, notice that the green monster is certainly faster than the other monsters. And at this point in the game, crap. I knew I was screwed. At this point in the game, the oxygen meter ticks down by more increments, by 30 points. And it ticks down a little faster, I think. Which really sucks. So you're in more pressure to get the job done in time. And something I didn't mention that you might have noticed thus far, if you don't kill all the aliens, you gotta start all over. That suckos. Yeah, even though it looks like you buried them, they can still get their way out, dig their way out. Now he is white, and white is the hardest alien. He needs to fall an extra floor. He needs to fall 3 floors. That really sucks. That's just too much work to do, so just try to time it so that you can make an alien fall on him. Crap, I'm screwed. you get an extra life at 30,000 points. And in order to get on the high score list, you must beat the high score, and it is 3,400, and I've well done that. One thing I do like is that you can have 9 letters for your high score name. Yeah, I remember this being at an arcade that's not far from where I currently live, and that arcade was gone by the mid-80s. I definitely saw this. I saw Mr. Do for the first time at that arcade. It's kind of a cool arcade. It wasn't very big. It was right by a ice skating rink. But yeah, that is the way to kill those tougher enemies, the green enemies and the white enemies, is to either knock them down on another enemy or knock another enemy down on them. And if you let an alien dig itself out, it can change it to a tougher enemy. And I'm just about out of... God damn it! I'm just about out of oxygen. Yeah, I'm screwed. But it's creepy if you run out of oxygen. Well, I fell off a ladder because I ran out of oxygen, but if you don't fall off the ladder and you're just walking around and you run out of oxygen, your guy just falls face first dead on the ground. Just such a creepy game. But the Colecovision port is much, much easier. If you are a Colecovision enthusiast, you have no reason to not have Space Panic, because it's very well done. Yeah, I'm going to make some money off this house by having a couple renters. Yes, you can fill the hole back up by pressing the bury button multiple times. Yeah, I knew I was in trouble there. Press the bury button multiple times to fill the hole back up. And like I said, you can get up to 9 letters, which is awesome. So I'm going to put in my full first name, Russell. Yeah, the loft over the garage, I might rent that out for a little extra money. There's hardly any space to move in it. You can't really sit up too well in it. It's very low, but it's worth. If you just need an alarm clock and a bed and a TV and a computer, then that's for you. Just run the fan because it gets hot up there. Yeah, that's me just falling face first, dying from lack of oxygen. Very creepy. And here's me taking out 2 monsters and digging 2 holes above and below each other. And yeah, later on you will have to start facing the white monsters to start with. But that was Space Panic, released in 1980 by Universal, and that was game number 16 in our 20 from 1980 series. I hope to see you soon with game number 15. I'll still be releasing these videos even with my renting going on. Well, that was Space Panic, created by Universal in 1980, game number 16. Hope to see you very soon with game number 15. Y'all take it easy, everybody, and stay cool. See you later. Bye-bye.